welcome back to my channel. My name is Simona. I'm going to be showing you guys how I made these two phone cases as well as two other ones that are on their way to their owners. I'm going to show you the supplies I use as well as my method and how I fix mistakes. So, take it away! Today we're going to do some whipping, as I like to call it. Here are my tools of the trade. I have these little thingamajigamabobbers that help me create that lovely icing topping look. So what you want to do is make sure that you have everything prepared, pre-cut your little bago to fit your jingamabob, you know, whatever you want to call it. So I got these online. I want to say they're from the brand Wilson. I did not keep any of the packaging, but I will try to link it below if I can find it. The cool thing about this is that you put it inside of the bag, and then you're going to essentially put the icing tip on the outside. It just like nudges right in there. Anywho, this is our silicone that I like to use. I got this one at Home Depot and Lowe's. You can actually purchase it on Amazon as well, but you do want to get the one that says low odor. Yeah, if you don't, it smells like vinegar and it's nasty. So you want to pop the top of that, put it inside your little silicone gun, and start putting your silicone in your baggie. Now this is the baggie that I already had the icing tip on. Great shot, Simona. 10 out of 10. You are going to add your coloring. I do like to use alcohol inks and some mica or little glitters to add texture. More glitter. And then I like to give it an initial mix with a popsicle stick. This is just to get everything sort of under the surface of the silicone, the initial mix. So once that's nice and mixed, I like to sort of twist the top and twist the bottom closed. And then I just knead it with my hands so that the color is evenly mixed. This takes a couple of seconds, it's not that bad. But this way you actually get to see how well everything's mixed. So that when you're whipping, it's all good and uniform. What's nice is that since I twist it, I just press it and it untwists itself. It is very important to actually test out what it looks like before you actually go onto the phone case. So I like to do a couple of practice pipes just to, you know, give it a whirl, see if I like the glitters in it. And then we're ready to start whipping. So I like to start from right to left. It's just my preference. Try to keep your deposits of silicone as even as possible, but you don't have to be too extreme about it because you are going to be covering all of this hodgepodge with lovely charms and little trinkets and stuff. So if it's not perfect, it's completely fine. What we want is that effect of icing, so you get it on there as even as possible. I like to do the last row and then I do the second to last row in between so that it's nice and fat. As you can see on the top, you could still see the phone case through it. That's fine because I'm going to be adding more icing when I add those little charms and stuff, which you'll see soon. So for some of the charms, I don't add icing. It depends on how thick I want that area to be or how much icing it needs. But here where I added the little kurumi, I kind of just added a little more icing, where I added the hand, and everything else I just locate on there. Cover up any spots that I don't like strategically with some charms. And that's it. And then my favorite way to, hide any mistakes or anything is to add little pearls or little beads or anything smaller to just cover up those holes or cover up those areas where the icing just doesn't look as crisp. Yeah, it's very important to push in these beads as deep as possible so that way they don't fall out once the silicone is dry. But yeah, this is pretty much the end result. I sent it over to the customer already and I'm waiting to see the review. So anyways, this is a different phone case that I did using the same icing that I had left over in the bag. This one, it's more of a framing that I created with the silicone because I still wanted the mirror to be visible in the center. So I already had my little design plan for this. I knew that I was going to have some silicone left over, so that's why I had this planned. So it's a nice little Totoro phone case, I'm using different types of charms. I'm using some glow-in-the-dark stars like the ones you use on your ceiling. I'm using some little PVC charms of Totoro, some resin charms that I've made, some resin charms that I've bought. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that actually do really lovely resin charms. I prefer to purchase my charms from other people because theirs are so much better than mine. But for example, that little sugary heart, that one's one of mine. It's pretty simple. I have a nice little mold for it and I have it in all sorts of colors. So anyways, I added some pearls and there it is, its final glory. We're going to go on to a little different. So this one I am showing you the, how to put the little plastic icing tip on it for this one, but it's going to be a little different because I'm not adding this silicone directly into this bag. I actually wanted to do a two-tone silicone whip. So this bag, I'm just getting it ready for when I have my colors ready to go. So what I did is I just grabbed one of the bags, opened it up. So I sort of prepare it kind of like a little cup in order for me to deposit the silicone. And I'm gonna have two colors in this phone case, so I'm getting two bags prepared. So I like to use little alcohol inks. This is just an example of what you can get. I also have this white acrylic ink. It's not alcohol based, but it does work well for opacity. And I also have some of these that I actually created myself. I purchased some glow-in-the-dark powder and I mixed it with rubbing alcohol into these little droppers. And that's great to create your own little colors, as well as if you have glow-in-the-dark powder lying around, as I do, you can create your own little mixtures. So here I am adding some white for opacity. I added the glow-in-the-dark white that actually glows blue, and this is gonna be my white color side of my silicone. So same process, I am twisting the ends and just kneading with my hands. Here we go for the blue. I already added the silicone, adding some white, and now I'll be adding some blue and some glow in the dark. Then we go in with glitter, because I like to have a little bit of texture in there as well. Give it a mix with the popsicle stick. And then I twist off the ends, give it a knead. Now that I have my two colors, I'm going to cut off the ends of these bags, and I don't have to go super small with this. I want them to be around the same size. And I'm going to put it inside of that initial first bag where I actually did put the icing tips. Now you can see that I have a half white, half blue concoction. And as always, I'm going to test this out. Specifically when I'm doing dual colors, I test it out because that initial whip, as you can see, the first one, the white was a little more in front of the blue, but in the second one, it's just how I want it. Next, I get my phone case that is prepped with the lace. It's already sanded down. I start putting my first row of whip. Now, since I'm working on top of this lace, it's really difficult to have a nice straight line. So this one is not perfectly aligned, but thankfully, because all the charms that I was gonna put on top of it are pretty big, I don't mind it as much. So I do the bottom row last because it looks pretty, and then I started adding my little sheep and my little hearts and little charms I made. So this phone case was for a customer as well. They wanted a Pokemon Wooloo phone case, and since Wooloo looks kind of like a sheep, they also wanted some sheep in there. And here I am adding some pearls. Now I know that there's tools to actually put these pearls down, but I like to use my fingernails because I got them and they're my tools as well. I have a little more control with them. I do use the tools to press it down if I need to, but for me, I just feel a little more secure if I'm putting it down myself. And here I am adding some 3D puffy paint to the edges that don't have any lace on them. Now those edges also have to be sanded down. They also have to be a little textured for the 3D puffy paint to take hold. If you make a mistake, you can obviously wait for the entire phone case to dry and then you just peel it off and redo it. And here it is, the final product. Alright, so here I am doing very similar to the Totoro case. I am just doing kind of like a frame border. This one was not a custom order either. It was one that I had planned in case I had leftover silicone, which I did. And I just wanted to leave the center with the hollow showing because it is pretty. And I decided to make this a Harry Potter Ravenclaw case. I am adding little Harry Potter charms, some Deathly Hallows, a nice little wand, and a Ravenclaw pin that I had. So I really like how this one turned out. So this is another two-tone phone case that I created. This one is also a custom for a customer. They wanted a red and black theme. Now, it stinks because getting the red to be very vibrant without it messing up the silicones, the way that it dries, is really difficult to get that opaque color. Now the black worked perfectly because it was an alcohol ink, but the red, since it was kind of like an acrylic ink, it just does not take as much color. I need to work on that a little more. I need to find a really good red ink that works for me. Because even if you get it from the same brand, there is the possibility that it's just not the same high quality as the other ones. So here's my favorite part about using all of these tops and stuff. What's lovely is I can take it apart, let it dry fully. It's actually super easy to clean. You just let the silicone dry on it and then everything just easily peels off. This bag gets thrown away, but you know. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little bit, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. As always, these phone cases are available for purchase. The ones that are characters and Harry Potter, I can't exactly sell on Etsy. You can DM me and we can talk about pricing, and it's gonna be the same price, but I just can't have it on my site because copyright. But anyways, you can order a custom one with whatever you want on it. It could be any characters, any Hogwarts house, any movie, anything at all. I've done a lot of different things, so please don't be afraid to ask. I can also make it for whatever device you want. I understand that these two are iPhone ones, but I can definitely make it for Samsung, LG, Google phone, Huawei. I've done plenty, so please just message me directly on Etsy. That's the best way to contact me and the best way for me to create a custom order with you. Follow me on Instagram, follow my shop. These phone cases, unless they are sold by somebody messaging me, are going to be available at any convention that I sell at. I usually do bring all of them with me. I am planning on attending plenty of cons this year. You can look at my Instagram bio to see the next cons that I will be attending. And as always, you can directly message me with any questions you have. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.